Please stay with us. We're getting ready to move right into the Gems Keep Giving. And then we promise we're going to let you have a little lunch or something like that for the program. So if I could have Brian and Mimo up here, and we're going to have Brian make a presentation first, but I'm going to just talk for 2 minutes and then turn it over to you guys. So Mimo, if you want to just have a seat for a bit until you're ready. We will go, Brian. What we're going to talk about, I'm sure that many of you are familiar with Gems Keep Giving, and I'm sure that many of you are not familiar with Gems Keep Giving. But just as the brief explanation, Gems Keep Giving was a brainchild of our own president, Damien Cody, a number of years ago. And simply put, how can we as gem dealers, how can we as traders of these precious materials make certain that the communities that are producing these materials, that are bringing them, from the ground and then cutting them and fashioning them, how can we make sure that those communities are benefiting and improving their lives as we move forward? And Gems Keep Giving came into being. It was shortly about a year and a half ago that Gems Keep Giving became no longer just a committee of the ICA, but became a 501c3. And for those of you who aren't wonky about 501c corporations, it means it's a charitable organization now, and that all contributions to that organization are now tax deductible, depending upon what country you're from and how that happens. So we are an organization that is looking to improve conditions around the world in the communities that are producing gemstones and cutting gemstones, mostly artisanal mining communities. We're going to talk to you today about our inaugural project, the Kamtonga Water Project, that Mimo was instrumental in and was quite successful. Then we're going to start out with Brian, who's going to talk about our upcoming project that has to do with silicosis abatement in mining communities. So you need not hear from me much longer. I will talk with you at the end, but I'd like to start and have Brian point out what he's doing. Gems Keep Giving is not the end-all financial savior for artisanal mining community and cutting communities, but we are targeting good projects that we can involve ourselves in. And I think Brian can explain how Gems Keep Giving is involved and what the hopes and goals of the project are. So if you will, Brian Cook.
All right. Well, I've been talking about my projects for many, many, many years, and I approached Damien about my project, and I said, well, we have a problem with silicosis in our mining community. These miners that have been mining for decades, and some of these miners decades with no knowledge of what silicosis even is. And so once the symptoms began showing up, and fathers and brothers began getting sick and some dying, then it became an alarm. I approached Damien. I said, Damien, I have this project I want to do, but here's a problem. And Damien goes, well, that sounds like something we should deal with. We can do something about it. So I said, really? Okay, how do we do this? And then Gems Keep Giving became an entity, and it seemed like a no-brainer where we could start. The first thing is, as I've mentioned, I work with the community, the civil society, the local mayor's office. We have an entrepreneur. He's also the football coach, so everybody in town knows him and loves him. He's involved. We have the Secretary of Education there. We have the mayor. We have, again, the president of the cooperative. There's nearly 1,000 members of the cooperative. And then the Secretary of Health. So this is some of the earliest equipment came in. When I started my mine, I was the first person to even introduce the idea of protective equipment. But again, like I said, too many people cannot even afford this equipment. By the time it gets to the retail seller in the mining community, the proper kind of respirator costs approximately $80. Almost no miner can afford that. The other thing is, the miners are resistant to wearing them because it's just comfort. It's not as comfortable. But I said, look, man, it's not comfortable getting sick and dying either. It's not comfortable for your family. So they begin to understand how important this is. The women, these miners can go months on end with no income because that's the luck or not luck of artisanal mining. So the women, they're involved in, we want to set something up for the women too, as far as getting them involved in the cutting of the stones. But back to what we're doing through Gems Keep Giving. The health secretary and education secretary put together a beautiful program with the nurse and with a technician that will explain how to use and care for the respirator. And they presented it. And the first presentation took place just before Christmas, and we were able to get some dust masks at a more reasonable price, about $20 US. We're still looking for a supplier that wants to work with us. But the program is mobile because there's about 18 villages spread across this mountain range. And so it's set up so that they can go to each community and create this event, and the miners come, their families attend, and get educated. So this is out in the mining area. You can see it's rugged, sparse. Again, so we put the program together. They attended. They received a certificate signed by the mayor's office. They completed the course. You can see Gems Keep Giving logo is attached to that, so we're visible. This is, so we can start creating stories that we can show the clients. This is very important, creating the stories. I want to show you some of the faces of the people who participated. This is just a handful. We were able to get 50 respirators out with the help. The miners cooperative supplied hard hats, boots. So you can see it's an eclectic group of miners, women miners too. The youngest miners are 18. Under 18, you're not allowed to be in the mines, and our community is very strict about that. But it was a great event. It happened just before Christmas. Big event. Miners are stylish. I love this next picture here. They're wearing their best. Now, when a woman loses her husband and son, it's a struggle. This is a good friend of mine, and she's one of the elders, and I pay a lot of attention to the elderly. They hold stories that are going to disappear, so I like to document from their knowledge. She was collecting gold when she was a teenager, and so those stories don't even exist anymore. But how her methods of collecting and it's incredible. And this is the beautiful region where this happens. It's on the far western edge of the Chapada Diamantina. You're seeing it in the wet season. It's all lush and green, and it's a very exotic biome where it's up to 1,200 meter elevation. It's at the merging of three unique biomes: the Mata Atlântica rainforest, one of the most diverse rainforests, with the Cerrado because of the elevation, and it's on the edge of the Caatinga, which is a dry, arid northeast. So it's an incredible place to be able to work. And that village in the center there is a church dated 1625, which is remarkably old for Brazil. It's a historical place. Gold was discovered there by the early Bandeirantes. So essentially, Gems Keep Giving is entered at the bottom, the first tier of my stepping stones idea project with the health, and then we will go forward. And this picture again shows that we are working for the next generations. We want to keep things going. We want to invest in projects that benefit community, but benefit our industry. And I'm going to say it again. I think that our industry must, or has the opportunity to show our clients that we are doing something for the future. I mean, that's going to be key. And we can talk more about it, and please ask questions. I'll leave that up. It's a nice picture.
Okay, Mimo, if you'd like to come up here and talk about our Camtonga project, and I think she's, when that thing hits, about 26 minutes left. That's what it's got.
Thank you very much, Doug, for this opportunity. I feel very humbled standing over here, and with your permission, please allow me to invite in the stage my pillar, the person who has been helping me and pushing me, and the shoulder which I have been leaning onto. It's not an easy job to do this, but I have my comfort and my husband, Evan Kaplan. Please, could you come to the stage and stand right here, lest I fall? I'd like to do, so this is the man behind the Camtonga project. He's really been whipping me. I call him my white slave. I can say that because it's me, but somewhere else in another platform, I'll not say that, but this is my white slave. So the project Camtonga, I would like to explain about it in a video. But before we do that, I'd like to give him an opportunity to say something about this project.
Okay. First, I'd like to thank Brian. I've known Brian for many years. We were basically just acquaintances. I had no idea you were involved in all this, and I want to thank you and commend you. I think you're doing a great job. And then you have to give credit where credit's due. This whole concept, this whole thing would never have happened unless Damien Cody came up with this idea, and together we all made it happen. And thank you for Damien. When Damien came up with the idea, we were both on the board of the ICA. I just finished my term. There are several projects that were submitted, and we got up and spoke and debated, and Camtonga seemed to be the most worthy and needy. So thankfully we were able to do this. Camtonga is a village. It's actually the closest village to one of our mines in Kenya. The village has 3,000 people. At that time, 600 of them were children in the primary school. And this village never had water. So the women and children would walk between 5 and 10 kilometers each day or two, trying to avoid the animals and whatever, carrying these heavy jugs to bring water back. And because the children had to help, they couldn't go to school. So Mimo became friendly with the headmaster of the school, and she was always involved with the community. It's another long story. But anyway, we decided they needed water, and with the help of Damien and ICA and Gems Keep Giving, we were able to drill a borehole. We went down to over 700 feet, and finally water came flying out. And I wish you could have seen the looks on the people's faces. It was like, you couldn't buy that feeling. It was amazing. They were jumping up and down, drinking the water, whatever. The water was good enough for all of us to drink, but it wasn't 100% up to World Health Standards. So I felt we should do a purification, add a purification system. So with the help of Gems Keep Giving, we were able to do that, and we added a bottling component so the community could bottle some of the water and sell it to like the local hotels to earn money to maintain the system. So the system will go on forever and ever. We train some of the teachers how to maintain the system, fix it, buy the parts, where to get the parts, et cetera, et cetera. And this will go on forever. Since then, we got them involved in agriculture. Now they grow vegetables and fruits. The kids go home with food almost every day, and we're feeding the entire village. It's just turned into an amazing project, and we've just kept going on and on. We bought textbooks for the school. All the textbooks are old and ratty. We bought a complete new set of textbooks for the school. We built a library, supplied the library with books. The roof was leaking. We put a roof on the school. Buy clothes. We've officially or unofficially adopted like 15 kids that we support in the U.S. We go to school for free. There, it costs about $350 per kid or child per year. So we pay for like 15 of these children whose parents were either like, some of them, their parents were killed by animals, some of them just passed away, whatever. But anyway, that makes the long story short. I'll give it back to Mimo.
I told you we can go on and on and on and on until the cows comes home. But right now, I will take this opportunity to play the video so that it can explain the whole thing, the whole project of what you are doing. Please, technical.
Seeds of Change by a Gem Woman. A seasoned and limitless woman who rose from humble beginnings to become a leader in the colored gemstones dealership and mining industry, demonstrating measurable impact through community projects, ethical practices, and sustainability.
Hi, I'm Evan Kaplan. This is my wife, Mimo Kamal, and we're here at one of our mines. The closest village to our mine is called Kamtonga. The village has 3,000 people and never had water. So the women and children would have to walk between 5 and 10 kilometers each way every day or two, carrying these heavy jugs of water, trying to avoid the animals. By doing that, the kids couldn't go to school. So we decided they needed a borehole. So the ICA donated money to help us drill the borehole.
What began as a passion for gemstones has grown into a calling. That is not just about mining beauties from the ground, but uplifting the communities around us. I believe that business should be more than just profit. It should create value, leave people better than it found them, and open doors for those who have been shut far too long. At the heart of our work is a deep commitment to community transformation and sustainability. Our work in mining gives us access to some of the most remote and under-resourced communities. And for me, that access comes with a responsibility. I saw a school dry, dusty, and forgotten, but I saw potential. And that's where our journey of giving back began. The water did not just quench thirst, but it brought life. Our journey began with a simple mission to provide clean water to over 3,000 people in Kamtonga. This was just the beginning. We have worked hand in hand with the people to bring lasting change. We also repaired the school's roof, which had been in a state of disrepair, leaking and exposing students to harsh weather. We built a library, provided textbooks, and established a scholarship program to ensure access to quality education.
Our library can hold 51 pupils per lesson. We have 2,990 books, both Kiswahili and English. Before, the library learners could not speak in English, but now they can communicate in English. They have acquired learning skills, especially reading and communication. Research, most of the learners can research some words from storybooks, find the meaning from dictionaries, and by so doing, there is improvement in both English and Kiswahili.
Some of the students we have supported are now in university. That's what transformation looks like. That is what impact feels like.
I come from a big family whereby we are 9, and my parents were unable to educate me in high school. And that's when Mimo came in and took me through 4 years of high school.
Before the sponsorship program, I had little hope that I'll proceed in life. But having gone through the program, I'm confident that I'll achieve my goals.
Baba yangu aliaga nikiwa darasa la 6. Mama alijaribu kadri ya uwezo wake akanisomesha mpaka nikamaliza shule ya msingi. Hata hivyo hangeweza kunipeleka katika shule ya upili. Hapo ndipo Mimo alikuja na kunisomesha miaka 4 katika shule ya upili.
The schoolyard turned green. Then came a water purification center, which now helps serve the wider community. Children could now drink clean water, play and learn in an environment that truly supports growth. The children also are able to go home with clean water to use at their homes. These initiatives are not just about giving back. They are about building a foundation for a sustainable future. The school garden feeds families while teaching valuable skills. And our investment in mining education ensures young people have the knowledge they need for real world-class careers. But our journey doesn't end in Kamtonga. We have identified another community called Mnengwa in Mwatate, still within the mining community that faces many of the challenges. Same challenges. At Mnengwa School, children still walk long distances to fetch water. The school needs a medical facility, library, and even more concerning, the classrooms and infrastructure are in alarming conditions. Some walls have wide cracks, and many floors are riddled with potholes, posing serious risks to the young ones who come here to learn. These are not just inconveniences, they are barriers to education, to dignity, and to greater opportunity in life. And just like we did in Kamtonga, we are stepping in. A borehole, a medical facility, new classrooms, library, feeding program, and whatever else it takes to give this community a better life. This is only the beginning. Our vision is to continue working with local communities in our colored gemstones and mining industry, creating sustainable, lasting change that empowers, uplifts, and transforms. We welcome you to join us and share in this vision, because the future we want for our children and mining industry community is not built by one person. We build together. This is Mimo. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much.
All right. I have to just say that if you notice the kids with the jumping rope and things like that, it was touching, but some of us that were there tried to get in on that, and I'm telling you what, you're not jumping over those ropes. That's for young people. I love you guys. It was fantastic. Just fantastic. Gems keep giving. of which Kamtonga was the first project, is a beautiful project, but it points out something very important. We as an industry, we as a group, we as Gyms Keep Giving are not going to change the world. We can't eliminate poverty. We can't educate the entire world. But what we can do, we can get involved in projects where we can go in and change lives. It might be 10 lives, it might be 1 life. But we can develop these projects. What Brian is doing with his silicosis, we're going to change lives, but we may not know that for years because silicosis is a slow, debilitating disease. But we know that with the right kind of equipment, we're not going to eliminate it, but we can certainly take care of a lot of it. And 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, somebody, a community or an individual is going to think about, instead of losing their father or their brother or their sons, that they're living a more fulfilling life. And they may not even attribute that to Gyms Keep Giving. But does that really matter? If you can accomplish that? One of the most important moments when I was in Kamtonga, and I'm sure that many of you have had an opportunity to do this, where you're working in a community that's poverty-stricken, or they have lack of water, lack of education, and to see a child, when you're walking through the community, reach up to you. I know that many of you have had that happen. They need something. They need more. They're reaching to you. And while I was in Kamtonga, we were working in that garden that you saw. Not only did they bring water, the basic, simple thing like water, to the community, but they taught all those kids agricultural techniques. They sell some of the water, provide seeds and fertilizer for the gardens. The mothers and the fathers and brothers and sisters come in to work the garden. Okay, so the community, it's theirs now. They own it. And while I was there walking through the garden with Mimo and whatnot, I felt that familiar tug at my pants, you know, the child that's looking for something. And I turned around and here was this little tiny guy, and he was offering me the biggest, fullest eggplant you've ever seen in your life. He was not looking to me for help. He was offering me, I hate eggplant. But it was one of the most touching moments. And I realized that, you know, very few of us can have the impact that a Mother Teresa or other individuals like we know have in the world. But I realized right then that that young kid was there because Gyms Keep Giving provided the financing with the right people, the right support, and the right opportunity. And they were going to do and have much more rewarding lives. You all have these on your table. I don't think it's going to be a secret to you to know what this is. This is a card that has a picture of those children in that school in Kamtonga. And there's a QR code on there. And that QR code, I know you know what QR codes are. It's a way for you to go to the website, and when you go to the website, it's going to say, donate now. I think the Brazilians, the Sri Lankans, the Thais, the Indians, the Americans, everyone knows what donate now means, whether it's written in Portuguese or not. I do not want you to say, I'm going to do that, okay? I want you to think about the dinner you had 2-3 nights ago where you brought 2 of your clients out and spent $1,000, $1,500. Nice little Cabernet, okay, thrown in there. I want you to think about your tennis game, the last tennis racket you bought, maybe 2, 3, in your case, $500, something like that, Marcella, you know. I want you to think about going home tonight after this beautiful dinner and this beautiful event we've had, and I want you to make yourself feel good and think about what you've done. If you can give $50, if you can give $5,000, if you can give 100, I don't care what it is. I want you to just get that feeling. I want you to have that emotion, that feeling that I actually did something to change a life. It takes 10 minutes, and everyone that contributes is going to be hailed and fed on our website, on the Gems Keep Giving website, and on this screen tomorrow. So please, help us change lives, you guys. It's just a short period of time out of your life. Pick your phones up, hit that QR code, and denote, please, please. And let us do the kind of work that Evan and Mimo completed and that Brian is working on. Not changing the whole world, but changing lives. Thank you. One moment, please.
Thank you, Doug, Mimo, Evan, Brian. Doug's words there were very powerful. The reality is this: Gems Keep Giving cannot do any of these projects without money. Right at the moment, we've just begun Brian's project in Brazil, and we can't go any further until we get money. So we are now wanting money to really ramp up this project in Brazil, which will not only change lives, it will save lives. The incidence of silicosis in this little village is 90 times higher than the world average. People are dying a very horrible, slow death. And the solution is very simple. We educate them and we provide them with the right masks and safety equipment. That's all we have to do. And it won't cost a lot of money. So if we can get $50,000, $60,000, we can save so many lives in a very short period of time. It might, if they didn't have these masks, it would be a slow, agonizing death over a long period of time. This village is suffering and they have no idea. They don't know that they're suffering. They are suffering. We need money. And if we get money for this project, we're already looking and working towards other projects. We're just short of money. The other important thing is that you saw Mimo and Evan and Doug and a few other ICA members in Kenya. They all went there at their own expense to witness this incredible event in Kenya. Gems Keep Giving is an organisation that has very little overhead costs, almost zero. In fact, in the Kamtonga project, there was zero costs, okay? Every single cent of the donated money went to this project. The volunteers that were there were doing it out of their own time and their own money. And this is how Gems Keep Giving can change lives around the world, one community at a time, saving lives, changing lives, whether it be water, whether it be masks to avoid silicosis, whether it be education programs to help them better understand what it is they're mining. We are across about 7 or 8 of the SDG Sustainable Development Goals. So please help. And as Doug said, Do it now. Don't walk away and forget about this. We need money, and we'll keep doing these wonderful projects, and you can all be a part of it. Somebody was asking earlier, oh, how do we start our own project? You don't have to. Here it is right here. Gems Keep Giving, an ICA initiative. You can do it, and we can do it with very little cost because we've got resources all around the world identifying and managing these projects. Get on board, please.
And if we can move from the sublime to the ridiculous, it's lunchtime. Now we're having lunch next door. We don't have to walk down across to the hotel. The lunch is in the room right next door. And we'll be back at what time, Marie? 2:30. We'll return from lunch. Okay? Thank you very much.
Wow.